This is 5 and 10 from Skywatch TV for Friday, May 10th, 2024. I'm Derek Gilbert. It's been a very emotionally and physically taxing day for Sharon and me on our Israel solidarity mission as we visited the site of a battle in 1948, really a massacre south of Jerusalem called Kfar Etzion, or Gush Etzion today. It was the site of a kibbutz, actually several kibbutzim that were overrun by the Arab Legion and Arab militias in May of 1948. In fact, May 14th, 1948, just before David Ben-Gurion declared independence for the new Jewish state of Israel. 127 defenders of kibbutz Kfar Etzion massacred by the Arab Legion, including 27 women. There are disputes to this day over what actually happened, but what is known as this: the defenders of Kfar Etzion, who were farmers guarding the essential road between Hebron and Jerusalem, were overrun, and after they had surrendered, running out of ammunition, they died. Questions remain as to how, but it seems pretty clear. They did not escape the Arab militias and the Arab Legion, the Jordanian army, in other words, on that day. This is as close as Israel has to the Alamo for us Americans to get a sense of the context. And then from there, we visited Mount Herzl, which is a cemetery for fallen soldiers, and we saw the mass grave for the defenders of Kfar Etzion. So again, a very powerful and emotional day that really connects 1948, the year of Israel's independence, to what is happening in 2024. And that leads to issue number 5 today, which is Rafa. The IDF continuing to launch airstrikes into Rafah, that is the southern border city in the Gaza Strip between Israel and Egypt. Israel, as you know, has the IDF on Monday took control of the border crossing between Gaza and Egypt. Ceasefire talks with Hamas have now officially fallen apart. On Sunday night, Hamas claimed that they had accepted a deal. Then it came out that the deal, the ceasefire agreement, was not the one that had been proposed by Israel. Now it emerges that Hamas had actually demanded a 12-week ceasefire up front rather than the 6 weeks that had been proposed by Israel, and what the media was saying Hamas had accepted on Sunday night. No, they demanded a 12-week ceasefire up front. So the ceasefire talks in Cairo have collapsed. More than 100,000 citizens of Rafah have fled the city. Thank you, sweetheart. And men and material for the IDF building up outside the city limits as Israel prepares to move in. That leads to topic number 4. Who gets Rafah when it is all said and done? Now, Haaretz, which is one of the daily newspapers here in Israel, reports that despite his public statements, Joe Biden actually approved the IDF going in and taking over the Rafah border crossing. Again, the crossing between Gaza and Egypt. However, the U.S. and Israel, according to Haaretz, reportedly agreed that a private American security company would assume management of the border crossing once Israel completes its operation in Rafah. This has not been identified. We don't know which company this is at this point. According to Haaretz, Israel has also pledged not to damage the facilities of the border crossing so that it could still be used for humanitarian aid. But a State Department spokesperson, Matthew Miller, who was asked about this on Tuesday, denied knowing anything about it. So is this a real deal or not? We don't know. According to Haaretz, Israel believes that just taking the border crossing away from Hamas is a major blow for the terror group because it can no longer collect taxes on trucks entering. You know, if you want to bring your truck in, you will pay. And they can now no longer use it to smuggle weapons and men in from the Sinai Peninsula, which Hamas has been doing. But so if this report is accurate, this would mean that American military contractors comprised of elite ex-Army Rangers and other elite military units would be responsible for this border crossing, which could potentially put them into direct conflict with Hamas militants. In fact, Hamas has said if there are any foreign fighters who are deployed inside Gaza, they will be targets. Hamas warning that they would take shots at these guys. So, as if this situation isn't complicated enough, bringing perhaps private military contractors not governed by national law, perhaps, into this conflict? I mean, what can possibly go wrong? Topic number 3, Biden for Hamas. the president doubled down on his threat to withhold weapons from Israel if Israel pushes from eastern Rafah all the way into the city. If it mounts a full-bore attack, Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin confirming this in a Senate testimony earlier this week. South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham raked him over the coals, saying the right things. I mean, Lindsey Graham runs hot and cold with me as far as I'm concerned. There are times when I really like what he's saying and other times when I just can't understand his motives for what he's doing, assuming that he's doing what he actually says he wants to do. But setting that aside, we note that President Biden conveniently delayed announcing that he would withhold weapons from Israel if Israel went full into Rafah until after he condemned anti-Semitism during his Holocaust Day, Remembrance Day speech. He's trying to, as I said, trying to thread the needle here, not losing the support of Jewish Democrats, while at the same time not losing support of Muslim voters in the key swing state of Michigan. I don't think he's going to be able to have it both ways. In short, Benjamin Netanyahu, and this is what Sharon was giving me earlier, a copy of the Jerusalem Post that was left hanging on our hotel room door here in Jerusalem earlier this morning. The response by Prime Minister Netanyahu, PM brushes off Biden, we'll go it alone. That's Netanyahu's response. Our friends here, Israeli friends here, say, well, we'll see. But at least Bibi, at this point, appears to be ready to go ahead and say, look, we've got to take Hamas out of the equation now and forevermore, and we'll do it with or without American permission. And that leads to topic number 2, the United Nations for Israel. Not the UN. We're not talking about the United Nations supporting Israel would be certainly something of a miracle, but I'm talking about people from nations around the world showing support for Israel. In fact, a global prayer for Israel has been set for next Wednesday, May 15th. This will take place on May 15th, Wednesday, from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. Israel time. That's noon to 6 p.m. Eastern time in the United States, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central time. This is being organized by a U.S.-based Christian nonprofit called Genesis 123. Now, they're new to me. I don't know a lot about the group, just what I found at their website. If you want to look up more and find out more, it's genesis123.co, not .com, genesis123.co. If you want to participate, advanced registration is required using a link at the website, genesis123.co, and this will also be streamed on their YouTube channel. Coming up, quite possibly the lamest pro-Hamas protest ever. I'll tell you what it is next on 5 and 10.
We want to make sure that you know how you can get your copies of both of these new works in the Nearing Midnight and Hereafter exclusive offer. This amazing offer includes Nearing Midnight as It Was in the Days of Lot by the legendary Terry James, that explores in detail through the prism of God's Word the potential for nuclear war to break out at any moment. How the entire world is facing the imminency of a dictatorial digital monetary system. Why Mother Earth worship in the form of climate change insanity is being forced upon humanity. How the entities of Ephesians 6:12 will establish control through a new world order, and the blessed hope believers have in the return of the Messiah. Also included in this special offer is Jonathan Brentner's Hereafter. It's far better than you can imagine. This beautifully written new masterpiece will forever change the way that you view the afterlife. You will experience the anticipation of the jubilant reunion and celebrations in heaven that believers will partake in after this current life. Broaden your understanding of heaven and the start of eternity. You'll also learn the answers to difficult questions like, how will we experience and perceive time once in heaven? What will our emotions be like? What will our heavenly bodies be like? Will we have supernatural powers? And so much more. But we're just getting started. Also included is Jonathan Brentner's best-selling book, Triumph of the Redeemed. In this fascinating work, Jonathan helps you grasp onto the eternal perspective during life's perilous circumstances, the new earth, and so much more. This incredible offer also includes The Coming Judgments on DVD, where Terry James and Pete Garcia delve into great detail on the seal, trumpets, and bowl judgments listed in the book of Revelation. Also included is Jonathan Brentner's presentation entitled Hope in the Rapture. You'll be shocked when you find out why the Thessalonians were grief-stricken regarding the rapture upon receiving the Apostle Paul's first letter, and how you can be free from this very same trap. Sold separately, these items hold a retail value of nearly $90. Yours now for your donation of only $45, which includes free shipping to all U.S. orders. So don't delay. You can scan the QR code on your screen right now using the camera app on your phone for instant access to this exclusive offer. You can also visit us at skywatchtvstore.com or call 1-844-750-4985 and ask for the Nearing Midnight and Hereafter exclusive offer right now.
Item number 1 today, the worst protest ever. We told you about the protesters at Columbia University in New York who demanded guarantees from the school that they would allow food deliveries, even though they couldn't tell the press that the school had ever interrupted food deliveries or tried to block food deliveries. We just want to make sure they're going to make sure we get nutrition because they owe it to us. I mean, we're talking about humanitarian aid here. Well, at Princeton University, they've gone one better. Hunger strikers at Princeton are now complaining that the university is not monitoring their vital signs. They're camped out in tents, and they claim to be on a hunger strike in support of Palestinian Arabs. And after previously whining about unsafe conditions because the school wouldn't let them sleep in tents, now they claim they're not keeping track of our vitals. They are not at all taking care of us. That is a direct quote. And they concluded by saying, quote, "We will continue to starve until they meet our demands," end quote. Your terms are acceptable. This week on Skywatch TV, we talk about what we can expect in the hereafter. In fact, that's the name of the new book by Jonathan Brentner, Hereafter. He and Terry James of RaptureReady.com, his new book, Nearing Midnight, both very, very timely in these days. Don't miss the programs on Skywatch TV. You can find them at skywatchtv.com. All of our programs are always there. You can watch it over the air on one of our partner Christian networks. The broadcast schedule is at skywatchtv.com/channels. You can watch it now at our Roku or Apple TV channels. If you've got a set-top box, make sure you've got the Skywatch TV app there. Rumble.com/Skywatch TV, or better yet, get our free mobile app. Get it into your smartphone or tablet, and that way we will never be canceled. It also has additional features like an audio Bible with multiple translations, calendar of upcoming events, and more. And we've got it available for iOS, Android, and Amazon Kindle Fire phones and tablets. We've got links to their app stores at skywatchtv.com/app. Next week, Monday and Tuesday, because of our travel schedule, may not have reports for you or just very short ones, just giving you a heads up in advance. But in the meantime, have a blessed weekend, and thank you for watching as we keep watch. From Jerusalem, I'm Derek Gilbert, and this is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV.